record if she wants.
Perfect. Got it.
Thank you.
Perfect. How's everyone feeling? This isn't TV. We can see every one of you guys. This is awesome. And Tana as well. We're so grateful to be here. I'm Nathan Osmond, and I come from Utah. My family grew up here in Utah. You probably have heard of my uncle and aunt mostly. Probably my dad and uncles, the Osmonds. Who remembers the Osmond family? Singers, right? My dad's Alan. He's the one that started Stadium of Fire, so you can thank him for the Jonas Brothers this year. But it's going to be a lot of fun. But yeah, we've grown up in the music industry, but I also grew up around real estate because my grandpa started Osmond Real Estate back in 1979. Then Jimmy bought it. He just sold it though. And so never did they think that they were going to have a grandson. They got in as a lender. So I'm with OsmondHomeLoans.com, part of Elite Mortgage Group at Security Home Mortgage. We're the #1 team at Security Home Mortgage. James Roberts is my partner. So together combined, the two of us have over 30 years experience. So we're super excited. And I love working with great realtors. One thing I learned though when I got into this business is that they do not teach us a lot of stuff in real estate school, right? Would you agree with that? What do they teach you in real estate school? To pass the test. They give you just enough to make you dangerous, right? You pass the test. Now go get us some Rep Cs, right, baby? You're like, but nobody knows I'm a realtor. You go, that's the problem. And how do you tell people what you do? How do you let them know, right? I mean, I came from the entertainment business. I did 277 live events in 201 cities just in 2019. And then what came to town the next year? COVID, right? Where did my travel take me? Nowhere. I was inside and everybody was freaking out. I'm going, okay, what do I do now? Right? And this was right during the refi boom. So I'm like, well, I could go back to school and get my license. You know, my wife, was her idea. She said, you'd be awesome at this. We were actually doing our own little cash out refi, you know, with a good friend of ours that works for Security Home Mortgage. And he sat up in his seat and said, you'd be awesome at this. I said, yeah. But I hate that I got to take a test to get a job. You know, who's with me on that one, by the way? We all are, right? We hate that. But you know what? We're professionals. The only problem is when they teach us in school, they don't teach us how to make money. They don't teach us how to run a business. How about branding? What about social media? What about this new thing called AI, which we're going to talk about today? They don't teach us this stuff. So where do we go to learn it? I happened to learn it in the show business world I was in. And so guess what? I just called up Taylor Swift's manager, who's going to come in with STOMP, and he's going to teach you guys what he's teaching rock stars, what he did for Taylor to take her to the stratosphere. How many would like to know what Taylor knew and knows about social media that you could then maybe apply to your real estate business? We just brought in the millionaire next door, Dr. Bill Danko. We got Dr. Noah St. John coming in. So what Tony came up with this idea, because I was working in the same building as him, and he says, Osmond, you and I need to get together, combine forces like Avengers, right? Unite. And he threw this idea at me because we need to empower our realtors out there and our brokers, and not only them, but our loan officers. Because I tell you this, loan officers do not know how to market themselves, most of them. And when I got started in this business, all I started doing was what I was doing in country music. And guess what happened to my whiteboard? All these names started filling it up. I get a knock on my door from my boss, who's now my business partner. And he says, can we talk? I said, sure. I thought I was in trouble with the boss. And guess what he says? You're not normal. And I said, well, heck, I could have told you that. And thank you for the compliment. I never wanted to be normal. You don't want to be normal. If you want to be #1, you got to be odd. Okay, because #1 is an odd number, right? You got to be different. You got to stand out. So we came up with this whole thing. Tony, after he brought that idea up with me, I didn't do anything about it. I kind of sat on it, thought about it, went to lunch meetings with realtors, and all of a sudden he started a company. And I said, time out, is this what you were talking about? He says, yes. I said, am I still able to come along for the ride? And so we did. We united forces, and now just as in January, we've got STOMP launched, and it's absolutely free to join. We want to empower realtors. We've got people from New York to Hawaii. They're now learning these things. And just yesterday, I went in the studio with one of our stompers, and she says, I can credit my last 3 closings thanks to what you guys taught me. How many guys would like to get 2 or 3 more closings this year? Would that be worth your time and maybe coming to a class or getting online? You know, it's what we don't know that we don't know, and we think we know, and this is holding us back. So today, what we wanted to focus on is what's new, right? How do we stay on the cutting edge of this thing called AI? You know, you hear about it all the time. How many guys are currently using artificial intelligence? What are you using, Steve?
Well, we use it in our code on our website.
Okay.
And so the technology that we're providing our agents use it. And then we use it and advise our agents to use it when they're filling out their descriptions for their properties and things like this.
Okay. How about here? How are you using AI? Same thing? Anybody else? Michelle?
Utilizing it in building out things, I think reports and things that my agents can put out and building out follow-up sequences of all the different things that AI can do and graphic design work as well.
Graphic design is fantastic, yes.
I use it in writing articles.
Yeah.
I have to turn it into magazines and stuff,
Uh-huh.
and different things that way.
Absolutely. We got video production guys here in the room. Let me ask you guys, how can AI help these guys with video?
A lot, because AI is going to give you the ideas. I mean, one of the hardest parts of videos are scripts and setting up an idea for a video, and AI helps a lot with that.
It'll do like captions,
It'll do like auto cuts.
Okay.
It'll take things out of your videos that you don't want in there. It's pretty cool.
it does a lot for you. It's almost cheating, isn't it? Right? It's kind of like auto-tune. When we got in the studio, my father, who was the oldest of the Osmond brothers, he just says, this auto-tune stuff is cheating. We had to hit the notes. You know what I'm saying? Anybody can sound good in the studio now, thanks to technology. Even Britney Spears. Isn't that weird? So I think she's got a lot of auto-tunes. But the thing is that, is it cheating or is it being smart? It's the people that embrace and enhance and unleash the power of AI with their businesses now that are going to be way ahead of the game. Because whether you're on board or not, it's kind of like when my father started telling people in Branson, Missouri, this World Wide Web thing is going to be huge. Okay, this is in the early 90s. We moved to Missouri and we had a theater and we're performing. And so Andy Williams, Tony Orlando, all these guys that had theaters there, Wayne Newton. My father's telling them about the World Wide Web. They're like, are spiders involved? Like, they're like, what's a web, right? And they didn't know what he was talking about. Then Sandra Bullock comes out with the net. Maybe Osmond's onto something then, right? And guess what my father did? He bought up all of the URLs, andywilliams.com, tonyorlando.com, waynewton.com. And you know what? He could have made a fortune. But what did he do? He gave them away. Because that's the kind of guy my dad is. Isn't that cool? So the people that are doing what's this AI stuff, right? It's the same thing. This is the new internet. This is the new technology. So what we wanted to do today is introduce you, perhaps, maybe some of the things that are out there. And obviously we don't have all day to go over because we could. There's so many ways you can enhance your business and 10x it. And by the way, time is your greatest commodity. How many guys are busy? Good. You should be, right? We're in Utah. But here's the point though. If you're wasting time doing video or this and that, let me tell you, video is not a waste of time if you know how to do it right. And AI can shave off so much work. That's what Tony's coming here today. I'm going to let him do the majority of the teaching today because he is Mr. Tech, right? And so he's going to show you some things that will totally hook you guys up this year, starting today. He's got some homework assignments for you. So I hope you guys are ready to take some notes and take some action. All right, with that, guys, lights, camera, action. Bring them up, Mr. Tony Acosta. I want to say Orlando. Tony Orlando, everybody. Hi, Yellow Ribbon. Bring them.
Well, thank you so much. We really appreciate the opportunity to be here and just to be able to share some ideas with all of you. My name is Tony Acosta. I've been in the real estate industry since 2012. I started as a showing agent, just showing properties. I didn't know how to market. I didn't have a book of business. None of that. I was 21 years old, but I looked like I was 15. And that's all I knew how to do. In 2017, I became principal broker.
Bye. Hi, Tony.
Hi.
Hi.
At the time,
See you later.
that was 2017. I was the youngest principal broker in the state of Utah. And I had a ton of imposter syndrome and I didn't know if I belonged. And it was really awkward. I would go to these meetings and people thought I was going for the broker. So they'd be like, oh, like what broker are you representing? And it was incredibly awkward. And so I've kind of seen it. I've seen a little bit of a lot in the real estate industry over the last 12 years. And so what I want to share with you today is I want to introduce you to a new tool. Now, as we know in real estate, there's 100 different ways to do it. And in my opinion, everything works if done correctly. There are people that are very successful doing the cold calling, doing the door knocking, buying leads, doing Google ads. Everything works, in my opinion, if you learn how to do it well. What I would like to do today is just show you a potential resource and tool that you can use to make your content and your social media a little bit easier to develop. And so we're gonna talk about it. I'm gonna show you, we're gonna do screen shares, and hopefully by the end of this, you can take this home and use it. It's just like any tool, the tool is only as good as the use that we put to it. So okay, so let's talk a little bit about this, the content dilemma, right? Who here feels like or is sold on the whole social media? You guys, you feel like it's a good idea to do at least at some level. Maybe you're not going to go all in, but it's like, I think I should maybe be doing a little bit. Okay. Now, the question that I always pose to real estate agents is, who here, by raise of hand, has been recommended something over the last 90 days? You've been recommended a restaurant, a hotel, something. You've looked a business up, a dentist, an attorney, someone to try to find information, to try to find reviews, by raise of hand. Who's done that over the last 90 days? Okay, most of us do that. Now, who has chosen against something because you didn't like what you found? By raise of hand. Okay, who has done that even though, or even if that was a referral? Even though your friend told you to go to this restaurant, you looked it up, didn't love what you found, and so you chose against it. I think one of the reasons why we struggle with this a little bit as agents is because we don't think that this that just happened applies to us. And so the question that I always pose to agents is, when people look you up online, what are they finding? Are they finding valuable information? Are they finding good commentary from others? Are they finding nothing? Are they finding just a profile that doesn't have a lot of thought behind it? Are they finding just a bunch of just solds, just listed selfies with clients? What are people finding? Because multiple people in this room have chosen against something, even though it was referred to them by a trusted source. And so the same dynamic happens with us. So we're always out there trying to get referrals, and that's great. But I think we have to realize what happens when somebody refers Matt. That person goes and does their research. We all do. That's what we do. And so the goal with these tools is to help improve that perception, to help improve what people find when they're looking you up online, because they undoubtedly do. So what you don't want is to lose out on opportunities because that online presence is not strong. Now, do I feel that you should spend all your time here? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But I do think that it's a very, very important layer to your business that deserves a little bit of attention. But the problem with doing content or social media is there's a bunch of questions that come up. What should I record? What should I say? What equipment do I need? Scripting, what do I say? I don't like the way I look. And there's all this barrage of negativity that most of us take that and then we just say, well, I'd rather just not do it. Because I don't know what to say, I don't know what to post. Should I do Reel? Should I do carousel post? Should I do? It becomes so overwhelming. I just don't know what to do. Do I do Instagram? Do I do Facebook? Do I do LinkedIn? Do I do YouTube? Do I try to do everything all at once? It becomes exhausting. And so what I found useful, and the students in our program have found useful, is to just simplify, make it ultra simple and start small and then build. So that's kind of what I want to show you today so that we can start to get the hang of this a little bit. So here we go. Can I get someone to read? Can I get a reader?
If you don't have enough skills, it's because of one of two problems. Not enough people know who you are. Two, the people that know you don't yet see you as the #1 best option.
Okay, so I try to simplify things. So if you're in a position where you wish you have more business, It's one of these two issues or both. Not enough people know who you are, and the people that do know who you are might not yet see you as the number one, no questions asked, no brainer, best option. Now, who here has ever been in a situation where someone they know has used another agent? Ever happened to you guys? How did that make you feel? In all honesty, safe space. Were you upset about it? Did you, yeah, you talk a little bit annoyed. Who took it well? Matt? Undoubtedly, it makes us feel some type of way. We feel like, man, this is my friend, this is my family member, whatever the case may be, and they should have used me. So it's a very normal response. But that speaks to problem number two. If for some reason they didn't see you as the number one option, this has happened to me. This has happened to me recently. Why? Because people think I'm super, super busy. So they see on social, oh, you're doing these events and you're just too busy. And so again, it just goes back to being mindful of when people see you online, what perception are they receiving? And so the upside is that social media solves both of these problems. When done correctly, it solves both of these problems. It can get you in front of new people, and it can help sell your skills to the people that already know. Now with this, I make a distinction between marketing and brand. In my opinion, in the real estate industry, there's massive confusion. We don't understand these two words. So these are the definitions that have served me, that have helped me kind of develop this in some way. They are not the same. And in my opinion, one of the reasons why we struggle with this is because we are branding and we want marketing results. What's the difference? In my opinion, this is my arbitrary opinion. Some people might disagree with this, but it's the definition that is served me. Marketing is getting in front of new people, new eyes, people that have never seen you. Marketing is the door knocking, cold calling, it's the billboards, it's the social media ads, it's running funnels, all of that stuff is marketing. Trying to get in front of new people. Branding, on the other hand, is problem number two, is doing the work so that the people that already know you, the people in your sphere of influence, you build rapport with them. And so often we get these confused. So when we're on social, we want leads and we want new people, but we don't run ads. And then we wonder why it doesn't work. And so often we're doing branding tasks and we're not getting marketing results and we get frustrated. Or the flip side of that is we're running all these dark post ads that people can't see. We're just running sponsored post, sponsored post, sponsored post, but we're not actually posting on our feeds. And then our friend goes and uses somebody else because we've been doing the marketing to the new people, always looking for new eyes, but we forgot to take care of the people that are already there. So it has to be a combination of both. And so I try to really just have a line down the middle when I think about what I'm posting. Is this a marketing piece? Is this a branding piece? So once we kind of get the hang of that, it helps simplify things so that now you know what is the goal. Is the goal to get in front of new people? There's a certain format to do that, which we can show you. If it's branding, there's another format that works very, very well. Okay, any questions, comments on that? Can you kind of see that difference, that distinction a little bit? So here are a few tips before we actually dive into this. 3 tips. Number 1, don't make content for other agents. Don't make content for other agents. This happens a lot. Why? Because we're insecure about social media. We want the likes and we want the comments. So what do? We do some trends, or we share memes about buyers and they're idiots because they rent and don't, whatever it is. Renters are burning money. And often what we start to do is we start to get engagement. We start to get some comments, but they're from other agents because what we posted is funny. You got a reaction from them, but that's not who we're talking to. That's not who we're talking to. Other agents, they're not your target audience. They're agents. They're not your target audience. Now, can they be your friends and stuff? Absolutely. But when if you're gonna take the time to make a piece of content, you have to think, who is this for? And far too often, it's for agents. So if you want social media to actually work in generating customers, we have to make content for consumers, for buyers, for sellers, not for agents. Are you going to get less likes? Probably. You're going to get less comments? Why? Because your other realtor friends that follow you on Instagram, they're not going to comment on that piece. They're more likely to copy it than comment on it. But that's okay. We're not worried about that because we know who we're talking to. Number two, just as we mentioned, decide if you're going to go in for branding or for marketing. In my opinion, it's useful at first to pick one. Just choose one. Do I want to strengthen the rapport I have with my current followers, even if it's 200 people? That's fine. That's a lot of people. Or do I want to go out and get new ones? Pick one at first, and then as you get more advanced, you can combine them and it gets a little bit more robust. But pick one. Both work. Both can generate business if done correctly. Okay. And number three, contextualize your insecurities. Guys, who here is afraid of receiving hate on social media? Honestly, who does that cause a little bit of anxiety? Okay. For some folks. Okay. Now, I've been doing social media for a long time, and I can tell you that hardly, I can only think of one instance where somebody made a nasty comment. And so this fear that if you post a video, someone's going to be like, oh, you suck, you're so ugly, what are you doing on social, you're an idiot, doesn't happen. It really doesn't happen. And even if it did, you just block that person and you move. But it's amazing how much we allow that to stop us. The 0.00001% chance of that comment stops everything. We don't move forward because we don't want to roll the dice. And there's a 99.999% chance that nothing's going to happen. So I think that's a pretty safe bet. I think that's a good bet to make. I think if we were in a casino and I told Matt you have a 99.999% chance to win, I think you would say yes. I think you'd roll the dice. Same thing applies with social. Worst case scenario, someone hates your video, you say you're an idiot, block them, move on. That's it. Nothing happened. You're totally kidding. Okay, so it's just putting that in context. And at the end of the day, if someone doesn't like your video, you don't want to work with them anyway. That's not your client, customer. They don't like you. That's fine. Not everyone's going to love you. But for some reason, we understand that in real life. Then on social media, it causes so much grief. Someone's not going to like you. That's fair. Doesn't. Not fair? Cool. So how do you make social media easy? Everyone wants to do it, but few actually do. And the ones that do get it wrong, because as we mentioned before, their actions don't match the results they see. So here's some of the tools that I use to make this seamless. And now a few considerations. 73% of homeowners say they're more likely to list with a realtor who uses video to sell property. All right, so these guys know this. You have to use video. So we're going to kind of go level 1, level 2, level 3, so that we can start to kind of contextualize this. 73% of homeowners want video of their property. It's becoming an expectation. It's becoming an absolute expectation. So how much does one of your packages cost for video? For a listing?
Photos, video, everything, you're like $350.
Okay, $350. It's worth it. It's worth making that investment because the homeowner is going to see that and they start to share it. They see it online. It matters now. It's becoming an expectation from homeowners that there has to be some sort of video, especially when you have talented guys that can go in, really highlight the property in a correct way. It absolutely matters. So if you're trying to cut costs, that's not where you do it. In my opinion, that's not where you do it. Pay the extra $100, pay the extra $150, get some good footage and share it with your customers. Let them see it. Say, hey, we made this video. Post it on social. If you're connected on social, tag them. Let them see the work that you're doing. They have to see the work that you're doing, which brings me to the massive elephant in the room / parentheses that I want to make of where our industry stands today. Now, this isn't a lawsuit class. This isn't a settlement class. I'm sure you guys have had 32 emergency meetings about the settlement. I'm not here to talk about that. But what I think we have learned through this lawsuit process is that our industry has a massive perception problem. People just don't think we're very valuable. They think we're overpaid, think we don't do very much. They don't, and obviously they don't understand how a transaction works. They think if you charge 3%, you take all 3% home. They don't get it, but it doesn't matter. Because if you go to these New York Times articles, if you really want to get pissed off, go to these New York Times articles and read the comments. Thousands and thousands of comments saying realtors are a scam, realtors aren't worth anything, and on and on and on. And you can dismiss that, or you can take a step back and say, well, why? Why? And I think one of the reasons is because we don't show them what we do. What do? Just list it on social. And then selfie at closing. And that's it. That's all they saw. So what do people think we do? Sign in the yard, open a door, and then they show up with some fancy basket that I could have bought myself at closing. That's it.
Or some do that.
Yes, absolutely. And so I think that part of this is not just to generate more business for you, but it's to push back on the public perception that you guys don't know. That the world could go on without you and people, consumers would be just fine. It's easy to buy and sell real estate. Why do we need an agent? Representation too expensive. I don't need it. So it's a twofold solution. If we want to thrive in the future, we, in my opinion, need to get very loud about our value prop and about what we do and how we do it and why we are worth what we charge. So instead of getting angry at all of these comments, take it as fuel. And the louder we can get collectively, all of a sudden we're going to start to change that perception. But right now it's in a very bad place. I think we've all kind of contributed to that because we have not shown our expertise, what we do, how we negotiate, all of the pitfalls of a transaction. We don't share that because we want everybody to think that we're perfect. I used to feel this. We're not going to tell someone that a transaction is difficult. We want them to think everything's always perfect and smooth and we're the perfect agent and everything's always amazing. It's completely backfired on all of us. Completely backfired. Okay, so that's kind of the parentheses season. Last of all, when asked about the most important trait a prospective seller looked for in an agent, professional reputation was the most common answer. Which makes sense. We all want that. From your dentist, from your attorney, from your CPA, from whatever. You want a professional reputation. The question becomes, how do you build it? And that's what this is about. How do you build it? It's not granted to you. You have to build it. And I learned this when I had friends that used their agents. We feel entitled to that business. We're not entitled to anything. We have to build it. So if for prospective sellers, professional reputation is the most important factor, we need to think about how we demonstrate. Enter these tools that we're going to talk about today. Level 1 is CapCut. Okay, who here has used CapCut before? Okay, awesome. So CapCut is a great app. Right now, you guys have the tremendous benefit that if you don't want to do this part, you got these guys. They'll probably do it better than you anyway. But if you're in a situation where you want to start to play around with these tools, CapCut is a great app. Very simple, easy to use. So here's what you're going to do with CapCut. Okay, you're going to download the app. There's a free version. There's a paid version. The difference is on the free version, you're going to have a watermark. Pro version, you're not going to have a watermark. But you're going to get on the app and you're going to search real estate listings. There are 90,000 templates. Very easy, very simple to do. So you're going to find a template that works for you. Pick one. Thousands. And it's going to tell you, okay, for this template, you need 8 clips. You need 13 clips. You need 7 clips. And for every listing you make, you're going to go and make those clips. It's 8 clips, 5 clips, 13 clips, and plug them into the template. You plug them into the template, it does the work for you. Audio, transitions, all of that stuff. It does it for you. So you don't have to worry about the fancy editing and those transitions and the lighting and you don't have to worry about any of that. It literally solves it for you. So that is level one. In my opinion, this is basic. This should be done with every single listing. Every single listing. Now, if you say, well, I don't have any listings, well, hopefully there's a culture at Presidio where if your friend or someone else in the office has a listing, they will allow you to also highlight that listing. It doesn't exist everywhere. Some brokerages don't do this. But if that culture exists here, take advantage. I don't see the downside. Some agents want, it's my listing, don't fill my listing. I don't feel that way. I think if anything, it helps the seller. But if you have that opportunity, if you don't have listings, but people in your office do, just simply ask, hey, do you mind if I highlight your listing? Awesome. Helps them, helps you. Maybe there's someone in your SOI that could be interested, but that is basic. 73% of homeowners want video. And they want video that is well made. Video that is well made. It's not enough now to be at an open house and just like walk through the house. Be like, this is the kitchen. This is the bathroom. we gotta do a little bit better. And so level one is CapCut. So the commitment or the challenge would be to dive into CapCut this week. And in the next 7 days, pick a template, go to a listing, and make a video. It can be a model home, it can be someone else's listing, but make your first video. Practice. Practice, practice, practice. And again, when you have your own listings, you're busy, you got these guys. It's worth it. Okay? Questions on CapCut. It's the most basic form. Most basic form. Questions? Comments? No? Okay. So it'll end up looking something like this. Okay? Very simple, easy to do on CapCut, nothing crazy. Basic. Okay. This was done in 18 seconds. It's easy to do. Who here makes videos similar like this or has done so in the past? Awesome. Continue to do that. Keep doing that. Connect with your clients on social. Tag them in the post. Share the video with them. Ask them, invite them to share it themselves. It's the low-hanging fruit. It's the lowest hanging fruit. But if we're not doing this, in my opinion, we're leaving massive upside on the table. So that's number one, which is CapCut. Level two is ChatGPT, and a tool that I love is called Opus Flip. Okay, now we talked about professional reputation. The way you show that is people need to know, like, and trust you, which means they need to see you in action. They need to learn from you, hear from you, that you need to show them that you know what you're talking about. And just telling them when you close a deal is not enough. So when I first got into real estate, again, I didn't have a book of business. I didn't have a network. I didn't have budgets. I didn't have any of that. The only thing that I thought to do was I would write down every single question that anybody would ask. Out of showing, buyer consultation, listing appointment, closing. I was always trying to pick up questions. I'll write down these questions and I'll grab my phone, all I had, and I would answer these questions and post them on Facebook. I'm talking 2013, 14, 15. Before Instagram was cool, before even business pages existed on Facebook, it was just your wall. Remember the wall? That was it. And so that over time, that started to help me build a little bit of rapport with the small amount of people that I had on Facebook. Most people have more than 1,000 people connections on Facebook, correct? Now, not very many people have thousands of followers. Most people have thousands of connections on Facebook. I'm a big fan of Facebook. I think Facebook is king. I think it's massively underrated. But the point is that there are already people there. Hundreds or thousands of people are already there. What we need to do is talk to them. What we need to do is talk to them. Okay, so here's kind of the framework. 2 ways to do this. Number 1, write down every question that you have been asked recently. Every question, even if it's as basic as you feel, it doesn't matter, write it down. Every single question. And train yourself to write these questions down. Because the other mistake that we make is we assume that everybody already knows how to do this. Whoops, that's not good. There we go. I'm so scared. Okay, here we go. Can Zoom still see me?
Yeah,
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Can you see the screen or is that gone?
we can just see you.
There
Now
you
I
go.
see a screen.
Yeah. Okay, awesome. So, way number 1 is every single question. That's gonna happen.
There it is. There it is. There it is.
Okay, awesome. So, number 1 questions. Every single question that someone has asked you, or questions that you wish people asked you. Man, what they should ask. You're gonna write those down. Okay. Number 2, if you have no clue, like I don't have any questions because I don't have any clients, so nobody asks me questions, I have no idea. Then the next level is to use ChatGPT. Okay, now if you use ChatGPT, this is all about prompting. It's how do you prompt? So what you want to do is you want to have certain elements in your prompt. Let's see if I have one here.
Are you guys currently using ChatGPT? It's incredible.
Let's see. No, we'll just write a new one. Okay, we'll just write a brand new one. Okay, so a couple of elements that you want in your prompt. You want to talk to ChatGPT as if it was an assistant that is going to create this for you. You have to give it context. You can't just say, oh, give me ideas for realtor content. It has to be a little bit more specific. So you want to, number 1, tell it what market you operate in. You say, my name is Tony Acosta. I am a realtor in Salt Lake City. I want to make real content for Instagram. Do you want to tell what kind of content and what platform you're going to post it on? I want to appeal to home sellers in my area with clips that are under 60 seconds. What topics can I discuss that would catch their attention? So you want to tell it where you're going to post it, who it's for, who the target audience is, what platform. You want to have a little bit more of a detailed prompt. And it's going to give you all of these ideas. It's going to start spitting out a bunch of these. Market trends, selling tips, success stories, financial insights, local insights. It never ends. Process simplification, which is a big one. Market predictions, home presentation tips, Q&A sessions, behind the scenes. So just with these 10 points alone, you'll never run out of ideas. Okay? So you'll either pick five questions that you've written down, or 5 of these. 5 local insights, 5 success stories, whatever it is, but you're going to come up with your five topics. Okay? 5 topics. You're going to sit down, you're going to put your phone in front of you, just your phone. Don't worry about the mics and lights and all of that yet. Don't worry about that. You're going to sit down and you're going to answer those 5 questions. Very simple. Nothing crazy. Don't worry about the fancy equipment. Just answer the 5 questions. Touch the 5 points. Just boom, 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 boom. It might take you 15 minutes, it might take you 20 minutes, but just make one single long form video answering these questions. Okay, that's step 1. Step 2, you're going to take your video and you're going to upload it to YouTube as a private video. It's important, as a private video. We're not going to display the whole thing. We're going to chop this up. So you're gonna upload it to YouTube as a private video. And then you're gonna use Opus. So Opus Clip is one of my favorite tools right now. You're gonna take the link from the YouTube video that you just uploaded, and you're gonna process it through Opus Clip. You drop the YouTube link and you get clips in one clip. Opus Clip also has a free version, it has a paid version. The free version allows you to process, I think, up to 3 hours of video per month. The paid version, I think, up to 20. Most people aren't going to process more than 2-3 hours of video per month. You're just not. It's too much. So for most, the free version works. So you'll drop this link in here, and what it's going to do is it's automatically going to chop your content up into all of these clips. It's going to cut it for you. It's going to give you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all of these. It's going to give you captions. It's going to give you the title. It's going to give you all of that all at once. It's going to do the captions for you. It's going to do the transitions for you. It's going to cut it for you. So all of a sudden, you sit down for 10, 15 minutes a week. You run it through Opus. Now you have 30 clips that you can share to social media. That's what makes it powerful, and that's what makes it simple. Because you don't have to do all the fancy edits. You don't have to. So you'll take all of these and you'll go through them, and some you'll love, some won't be so great. And here it gives us 11. On some clips, it'll give you 10, 15, 20. You download them and you post them. Very simple, very easy to do. So in recap, step 1, get your questions. Your 5 topics, 5 questions. Number 2, sit with your phone. Sit somewhere in your office. Use one of these. Steal this guy. Don't worry about the mics and lights. Answer the 5 questions. Take the video. Don't do anything to it. Don't worry about, I need an intro. Don't worry about it. Just take the raw footage. Upload it to YouTube as a private video. Take the clip. Paste it into Opus. Process it. And post. That's it. That's it. Okay, so that's how you can have a week's worth of content, valuable content, in under 30 minutes a week. That's the only way that this is going to work. Because if it takes hours and hours and hours, and we're not going to do it long term. We're busy, we have other stuff to do. But if you can time block 30 minutes a week, and you say every Tuesday, I'm doing my video, this will drastically help build rapport with your SOI. They need to hear you. They need to see you, especially now. So many questions about the industry, about the market, interest rates, lawsuits. The spotlight is on realtors right now. In my opinion, that's a massive opportunity, a huge opportunity to, again, talk about our value. There are people in your family, friends groups, SOIs that have these questions. They have these questions, okay? Questions on Opus? No? Okay. So I think challenge is the wrong word, but the invitation is to test it. Try it out. You've got nothing to lose. You've got nothing to lose. And if you sincerely feel that you want to be better on social, I've tried a ton of different ways to do it. In my opinion, this is the simplest, most basic form to do it effectively, to do it consistently, so that people are seeing you every single day. This is top of mind stuff. They might not watch every single video. They're probably not going to watch every single video. But when they're scrolling like we all do, they see you. Oh, there she is. Oh, there she is. Maybe they stop for a second and they move on. It's top of mind. And then all of a sudden, that day, there's a real estate conversation. They saw you in the feed the day before. So there's a higher chance that they'll think of you. And that's all we can ask for. People pay so much money for the chance to be chosen. They buy leads, they buy names, they pay Zillow hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. I know this because I'm with Perry. So much money for the chance to get in front of someone. The problem with us is in social that we haven't realized that if you can rack up 200, 400, 800 views per day, compounded over months and months and months, and those people are real people. They're not cheating. They're not buying engagement, buying followers, buying views. And 100 people in your town can see you every day. That's massive. That is worth so much money in traditional media. So much money. You would have to pay so much money to get on TV for 20,000 people to see you. When you could accomplish that, just trip, 500 today, 400 tomorrow, 318 the next day, one pops, 912 the next week. That's how this works. It's a drip system. Drip, drip, drip. Does that make sense? Questions, comments?
One thing that you didn't mention when you came up, that you are a realtor also and in the top 500. So you know what you're talking about. And I've heard you, speak before, and you're not just a presenter here, you actually do this in your business.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and that's something that we try to focus on. Everything we teach is things that we do that we have actually used. So yeah, absolutely. Thank you. You have a comment?
I was just gonna say, I know that it works. My daughter does, started TikTok,
Okay.
get on TikTok, during COVID,
Yeah.
just little by little, and now she has millions of
Wow.
followers. So it's it's just being consistent. And
She's
getting on that.
doing it.
Yeah, so I
100%.
know it works.
We know it works. That's the key, and that's what baffles me about us as agents. We know it works. We've seen it. We know, but yet we don't do it. So, and I've battled with that. Me and Nathan have gone back and forth. I'm like, bro, nobody does it. Why don't we do it? And so what we found is just to try to provide a framework that makes it easy. Because all of the objections, it's too hard, I don't know how to edit, I don't have equipment, I don't have time, I don't have money for an editor. I get it, it's fine. Don't.
For the fact that raw video is watched more than those really edited and professional looking videos, sometimes people don't think that that's real. And when they see you, like you got a ball cap on in your picture there, you're a normal person. So they resonate with that better.
For sure. So we will wrap up just a couple more slides. So this is kind of what this might look like. The camera's way too close to my face, number one. But you're instructing, you're teaching, it looks different. It looks different than just sold. This gives people a chance to listen to you, learn from you, and build that rapport. So if you have an opportunity to present at some point in a team meeting, whatever it is, record that. Record that. Even if it's something basic, record that. Look for opportunities to instruct. That is incredibly valuable content. And then, once you start to get the system down, once you've learned these tools, it gets much easier over time. Now, instead of doing 3 videos a week, you can do 6 or 7. You can post every day. Once you start to get it. Okay, but the goal is, you gotta try it. You gotta try it. If you don't try it, then kind of waste your time. Okay? And the benefit is for you. Because if your SOI is not seeing you, I promise you they're seeing someone else. And all of a sudden, your bestie is gonna post, "Here at the new house." What the heck? Why? Don't you know what I do? That's okay. So we need to be a little bit more present, not assume that everybody knows, not assume that everybody sees everything that you post. People say, I don't want to be annoying, I don't want to post all the time. It's impossible. It's impossible. A very small percentage of your followers view and see what you're posting. But don't worry about that. And if somebody doesn't like your videos, they're going to unfollow you. They're not your customer. It's okay. Any closing thoughts, questions? Okay.
Want to tell them about some of the other tools?
So inside of our platform, we try to keep it very simple. And we try to just use things and teach things that have worked for us. So we've got courses like this. We teach people how to podcast, whether it's start a podcast, get on podcasts. We're partnered with some great companies, whether it's auto texting platforms. There's so much there because, again, everything works. So the intention today is to present this tool, but there are countless inside of our platform. There are people that are doing very well with auto texting campaigns. People are doing well with email campaigns. We just had a training last week about open houses, how to farm effectively when you have an open house. Everybody does it wrong. It never works. I had a talk with Matt about this yesterday. What is the low-hanging fruit? How you can get in front of people in a way that is not intimidating, where there's no rejection, where you can feel confident about when you're knocking on that door, there's absolutely no fear. Those are some of the things that we talk about. It's not so much about motivation. I'm not a huge motivation guy. It's about what are the things that are going to help you sell more homes. That's it. That's all I care about. Transactions are the metric. It's not how good you feel. You can feel crappy, but if your systems are on point, your business will survive. If your business is dependent on luck or mood, you're in trouble. You're in a lot of trouble.
How many are using social media right now? I should see every hand, right? What is the biggest social media out there platform, would you say?
Facebook, TikTok.
What is it?
TikTok.
TikTok? Facebook? X? There's a lot of them. Can I just challenge and say that I believe that your biggest social network is right here. It is your phone, right? How many are using text messaging for connecting with your SOI? How many are just planning on using email? It's got about a 9% open rate. How many of you guys are like me with email and you just highlight everything and then you undelete the ones that you don't want, that you're gonna actually read, and you delete the rest? Anybody like that? That's like me every day, right? Because it's junk, right? That's how we view it, it's junk. Now texting, sometimes, how many have gotten a little text message from somebody like Cold Stone Ice Cream? It's like 6 digits. That's called short code. How many like to open those? You know it's salesy, right? But what if you had a phone number that was your marketing number that actually goes directly to your cell phone that you can text from, and it can even, people can call you on it, and it has a 98% open rate, read rate? How would you like it if 98% of what you sent out to your clients was read? Oh, is that possible? Yeah, join STOMP. We've got the texting platform that does that. It can totally 10x your business. It's so awesome. Matt, did you just start it? How is it? Have they onboarded you yet? They're onboarding you right now. So what happens is we have 3 onboarding calls to help you with the texting platform. So when you call, we'll get you, set up. We'll get your contacts. We'll upload them for you. We've got all the preloaded campaigns like happy birthday, don't eat too much cake. How many guys remember people's birthdays? I don't. I'm really bad at it, right? And by the way, wouldn't it be nice if they opted in? See, the phone number that we give you goes through what's called campaign registry. So it obeys all the SEC rules, so you're not getting blacklisted. Is that an important thing? Absolutely. In fact, you know what I do? I like to sing, right? So I was in front of a lot of people in Centerville, 10,000 people. I wanted all 10,000 people in Centerville there to know that I was a mortgage loan originator. But I'm singing country music, so how do I do both? How about I give something away for free? So with this texting platform through STOMP, I said, hey, you guys, I'm going to do something real crazy in front of 10,000 people. I'm going to give you my personal cell phone number because I'm going to text you a free song. And so here it is, 801-769-9481, and everybody's getting their phones out, 10,000 people, right? And so what do? Text me the word home, H-O-M-E, right now, and I'm going to send you a free song that I wrote for all of our veterans. Here it goes, right? Well, guess what? They get a text message while I'm singing the song. My legs go, right? I'm like, holy cow, like Elvis Presley up there. Here's the point. 10,000 people are opting into my cell phone now. And guess what? They get an automatic response saying, hey, hope you love this song I wrote for our veterans. Speaking of our veterans, I help a lot of them as a mortgage loan originator from Osmond Home Loans. And guess what? Then I'm marketing. And now I've got all of their permissions to reach out to them. And guess what I did? I followed up with them, and on my laptop, I'm saying, hey, did you get my free song? And now I'm saying, guess what? They all get their names in my emails too, because they just entered their data. So now Steve's going to get an email that says, or a text that says, hey, Steve, did you like the song? What can you guys give away for free as realtors? How about a free CMA? Could you do that? Yeah. What about a PDF that says the top 10 things to do in Centerville for families? Whatever market you're targeting, guys, you have so much we can teach you with this platform. That's why Matt just started this. It's going to be awesome for him. It could totally 10x his business. But I want to share one other free tool that I want to give to you guys today. How many would like it if you had a tool using AI that could tell you who in your database is going to sell their home 6 months before they do? 2 of you. Okay. How about the rest of you guys? Would that be helpful? Absolutely, right? And by the way, it shuts down your client's Zillow views by 29%. That's a good thing, right? How about this? It collects 237 data points on every user. So you guys can literally copy and paste addresses in neighborhoods, and it will tell you the likelihood on a scale of 1 to 10 who's going to sell and when. Guys, this is stuff you can use in your open houses. If people come in, you can say, hey, how much are you selling the house for, right? And you're going to say, are you guys from the neighborhood? Would you guys like to know what your houses were? Go ahead and just scan that little QR code. Bam. So while they're going through rooms, they're entering their information. Guess what? They get an automatic report on their house. That's pretty cool. Hey, you guys pre-approved? Are you pre-qualified yet? Well, go ahead and just scan that little QR code right there. Bam. Within the minutes, they have a pre-qualification. You get notified, by the way, with their information using this tool. Who'd like that tool for free? Guys, it's called My Home IQ. I love it. I pay $150 a month so that I can give it to y'all for free. So if you would like that, I'm going to give you guys all my cards, okay? So when we're done here, please email me. Tell me that you would like to get this free tool. By the way, Tom, if anybody online would like that tool as well, if they could just reach out to me, it's nathan@shmloans.com or loansrightaway@gmail.com. That's my other one. So if you just email me and just say My Home IQ, I'll go ahead and give you an intro. Please send me your name, phone number, and email where I can get you all set up and lined up with that, okay? They'll give you a call, 30 minutes. They'll show you how it all works. The guys start that immediately. It's an amazing tool. We have all sorts of people tied in with STOMP. Like I said, this is something that we felt that this industry needs. This is a Utah-based company, but it's going nationwide. And we just wanted to start it here in our home, starting with our friends that we work with day in and day out. If we guys can give you guys what's called a cutting edge and unfair advantage, that's really what we need in today's world. Would you guys agree with that? So Touchpoints Pros is our texting platform. My Home IQ. How many of you guys have heard of Pitch 59? You ever heard of that? They're tied in with us now too, which is awesome. 59 seconds is the typical length of an elevator pitch, right? So I've got a tool right here in my pocket that I can share with you guys. In fact, if you, how many of you seen like the QR codes that people have here? Tap this, it puts my phone number in your, that's what this thing has as well. But what it does is it creates what's called a pitch card. And talk about video. These guys could film your pitch video and then you upload it 59 seconds in length. But what it does, it tells everybody why they should be working with you. How many would like to be able to tell people on video while you're sleeping why they should work with you, right? Or have your friends share your pitch card for you. See, there's so many great tools with AI that we're using that give people what's called that unfair advantage. And you have to stand out. I'll tell you that right now because you got to be a little bit different. When I got that compliment, you're not normal, I said, thank you so much. You know what? That means I'm doing something right. And by the way, not everybody's going to like you in this business. And you have to be okay with that. A lot of people are scared to get on social media and put themselves out there. Is it uncomfortable? Do you have to coach people on camera?
4 or 5 takes every time.
4 or 5 takes, right? Because it isn't normal to be in front of a camera. Some people make it look really easy. I used to be really, really shy. And I can tell you this, that any skill is learnable. You know what Tony does on top of teaching people about real estate? He teaches them how to present. If you're not confident in what you're teaching, you know, you can read all the sales books in the world, but people, you can't look people in the eye. That's one thing I want to tell you. Like I'm looking right here. And when I look at this camera, most people will look at their self. Can I give you one tip? And I even taught my father, who produced the Donnie and Marie show. He even had to hear this. I said, Father, I love you, and you taught me everything I know. One thing you taught me is look in the camera, okay? Because when you're doing your videos, you're looking at yourself. Look at that little green light you have on your phone. There's something about eye contact. When you look somebody in the eyes and you say, hey, we're here to serve, you know, and you make it all about them. By the way, how many guys are utilizing social media lives? Did you know you have a television studio in your pocket right now? This is so powerful. In fact, I got a broker in American Fork to finally take me up on this. I said, listen, if you're not utilizing Facebook Live or Instagram Live or even LinkedIn Live, did you know they have a LinkedIn Live? Guys, you can, I don't know if you're utilizing LinkedIn, but I tell you, as a lender, you know who I like? People with jobs, okay? At least 2 years worth of work history, right? Especially that word salary. You know, if they have salary, all I need is one pay stub. I don't need that 2 years. It could be like maybe not even started yet. Before I close, I got to have one pay stub, okay? The salary is one of my favorites. So where are those people hanging out? LinkedIn. So if you're not utilizing LinkedIn, if you're tired of people that are just not pre-qualified, don't have enough money, you may want to focus on where you're target marketing these people. By the way, how many guys have ever had a Yelp account? One hand. What's Yelp? Just tell me, as Utah, what do we think Yelp is? Review for what? For me, when I started this business, I thought Yelp was just a foodie site because that's typically what I use it, what most Utahns use it for. Did you know that the #1 search on Yelp is home services? Did you know that? You know how it costs you to have a Yelp account? Zero. So go get you one. You get a free sticker with it too. So here's the thing. Let people know you're on Yelp because guess who's moving to Utah? Californians. And guess what? Californians use Yelp for everything. Everything ratings, they go to Yelp. I learned that from Californians. They told me that. So I said, I guess I better have a Yelp account. How many guys have ever used Alignable? Yeah, a couple of you. Alignable is the localized version of LinkedIn. So it's also free to set one of those up. There's so many great sites we want to give you to help you guys succeed. And by the way, to add to your video production, I know we gave you CapCut and stuff today. There's some really cool tools that I want to tell you guys that will really help you out to make your stuff look like top notch. Guys, write this down, called Envato Elements. You know what that is. Envato Elements. It's kind of like an iStock photo site, but Envato Elements, I paid $300 for the year. In all of my music, all of my B-roll, all of my stock footage, all of my sound effects on my podcast, everything comes from Envato Elements. And guess what? This thing makes you look like $1 million. So we love that tool. And by the way, on the end of every one of my videos, I have a very professional logo graphic that moves and is just, right? It makes me look like I got a big production, budget. You know what that thing cost me? $12. You know where I did that? Fiverr.com, Fiverr.com. If you're not using Fiverr, guys, can I just introduce you to a world that will change your lives, especially with digital marketing? Type in logo intro video and see how many great, talented graphic artists are out there. I have a production company, and oftentimes people say, hey, can you create a video intro for me? I said, sure. And guess what? I became a wholesaler. I become the middleman because I hire these guys to do it. Sometimes 12 bucks, I can charge what I want. You see what I'm saying? It looks like $1 million and people are willing to pay it. So why don't you guys have a professional video intro or outro on every one of your videos? Take pride in your image. Take pride in your branding. That's what we teach here at STOMP. We're going to show you guys some ninja strategies, some secrets that'll make you guys look like $1 million. But we want to thank you for your time. If you guys would write down one more website, got your pens out, write this down. It's called standoutmediapros.com. When you go on there, click on STOMP Starter, and it's absolutely free to get started. Create your profile page, because we've also created a community within this STOMP platform that helps you. So if you have, say, somebody that's moving to New York, you can get on there and say, oh, look, Moses Surab, he's in New York. You could start coordinating with birds of a feather, people that care about their image, people that take their business seriously, stompers. And then you can coordinate your referral fees as you send that family to Moses to take care of. See what I'm saying? So we've thought of all sorts of great things. But I just want to thank Tana and everybody on here. Thank you, Brett, for being here, bud. Good to see you on here, bro. And just want to thank everybody. Does anyone have any last questions about standoutmediapros.com or AI? Make sure you guys get my card before we go. We brought some pizzas for everybody as well, plus this whole charcuterie board. We want to thank you guys for who brought that. One more time, make sure you grab their content as well in the back. But Tana, I'm going to turn the time back over to you. If you want to get our slides and you want to get our notes, go ahead and use these QR codes right here, and we'll make sure we send them to you. All right, thanks,
Awesome.
you guys. We appreciate you. Bon appetit.
Thank you. It was wonderful.